this is me. This is one of the reasons I wanted to start my own businesses so I could just fully be me. And I know that that will attract the right kind of clients, the right kind of relationships. And, it won't be for everybody, but that's okay too.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Brian Johnson. Previously, episode 1874 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 1 month, 25 days, and 23 hours since we last had that recorded conversation. That was then. This is now. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Did you just rattle that off the top of your head, or I assume maybe you had done some math ahead of this recording?
There's this really cool website. I'll tell you. It's like timeanddate.com. Yeah, you just plug the dates in, folks, and but it sounds so cool. I think. Do you like it as well? Does it sound cool?
Oh, it sounds great. Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you can set reminders from it or through it, but I should probably set up a couple for my wife's birthday, big anniversary, stuff like that. I don't know if you can do alarms or email alerts, but I'm game. I'd pay for that service too.
I as well. Well, you are the tech guy. I'm sure there's some way you can do that. And of course, security is one. Well, at that time when we spoke, information security was something that you drilled in. Of course, you had the podcast going as well. How have things evolved today?
Oh, they've been going really well. There's just been a lot more people, a lot more companies that want to come and have interviews. They want to talk about security. They of course want to tote their own products and things, but they just finding a lot of people that have a mutual passion of mine, which is to help companies be more secure, especially the smaller companies that don't have like the really deep pockets to buy big expensive products and things. There's just so much they can do with very limited dollars and time and other resources. And so the podcast just continues to be a vessel for, helping people be more secure and also for people to take the next step in their IT and security career, whatever that may be.
I'm really fascinated by how an individual finds their calling and then begins functioning in it, and how that process, that journey is one that could be challenging in the beginning, but how the younger version of yourself takes care of what's necessary, and then the older version of you, functions now in the confidence that the younger version of you put in there. You're singing on your podcast now, right?
Oh yeah. And I think it's a situation where people come for the security, they tolerate the singing, I think is what I heard one listener say. But yeah, you bring up a great point about, now that I'm doing security as my own business, it was kind of a long journey to realize that's what I really wanted to do, because I don't have any business training at all. I went to school for theater and mass communications, which does help, in like a sales situation, and communication is so key to everything I do. But just on the, business smart side, I don't feel like I have any, but I do feel like I can relate well to people, and I can, help understand what their security concerns are, and then help them figure out solutions that fit their needs. But I came to that realization really, I joke with my wife in saying that I came to that realization only because I think I had every other job there was to have, and I still wasn't happy. And finally someone said, "Hey, you love talking to people, you like doing the security, and you kind of like selling it and being a communications person. Why don't you just try to go do all those things on your own?" And it was such a slap in the face. It was such a like, oh no, now they're asking me to put my money where my mouth is, and really pull the parachute, right? And pull the safety net and just go for it. But man, it's been an incredible journey. And I've just never been working harder, but also never been happier than I am right now.
You're doing work that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's huge to feel like, you go and you do some sort of assessment, and then you come back the next year and you go, oh my gosh, they've done a bunch of these recommendations. They're actually more secure. It does feel like noble work, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So you're on episode 397 on the time we're recording. By the time we release this, you may be on the big 400 episode, which is amazing from the time we spoke, right? Again, you're singing on the podcast. I remember you said you were drumming, right? You were drumming with a band at that time, right? Sweet Surrender, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, because I'm fascinated by the fact that when you delve into your uniqueness and create a brand from it, no one can imitate that. Or even if they do attempt to and they do it for a time, the longevity of doing it is very challenging because it isn't powered by you then, by the uniqueness of who you are. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. As a matter of fact, I did I spoke at a conference last year, and it was called the title of my talk was called "So You Want to Start a Security Company," and it was really the long version of the short journey I just told you about of kind of going through all these jobs and being unhappy and finally realizing, starting my own business would be the answer for me. But I kind of shared, I tilted my hand. I told everything I did to get this company up and running and successful. And I took a lot of criticism for people saying, well, that don't tell your secret sauce. Don't tell how you got where you are and this and that. And I said, yeah, but someone could follow that step by step. And to your point, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't have the same chemistry. This dorky dad who sings on a podcast, and really, honestly, even if people weren't sponsoring it, I do it because I love it. I don't have like a big business interest for it. I just want to share. I'm passionate about security, and I want to share that. And so I kind of bring all the things I like to do together, and it does become your own unique brand. That if I'm fully transparent with it, people still could take that and do the exact same thing. But I just don't think it would. Wouldn't hit the right tone, right? Because that's somebody else's kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, there's something about the voice. So it starts with speaking, the voice that's speaking, and I think integrity sets in there. That voice that's speaking with integrity registers on the ears and then even deeper on the heart of someone differently from the really smooth talking salesman, right? How long does he last, right? Of course, again, there is profitability in that process, but the longevity, the legacy. So how are you able to discern which voice to listen to, Brian, in the midst of things amongst all of these other voices?
Oh boy, that's a great that's a super great question, because it's been tempting, honestly. Sometimes when, for example, a sponsor or somebody comes and they say, "Oh, I want to acquire the company," right? Or I want to, pay you big bucks to talk about some product on the podcast that just doesn't feel right in my guts, right? Because maybe it's something I've used before and I can't get behind it. Well, I'm a Christian. I'm a prayerful person, so I do a lot of praying about these kind of things, and really try to always stay sort of tuned into that frequency of what the right decision is. And it's hard to really just bite the tongue sometimes and turn away opportunities and turn away money. But I just know that would be, it wouldn't be sincere. It wouldn't be right. I'd be doing it it would start turning me to do what I do for the wrong reasons. It could be really quick and easy to take that left turn, right? And suddenly be, completely losing sight of what I'm doing. And there's these smart business people that consult with me, and they really kind of hammer me on like, hey, Brian, less singing, a little more, let's kind of grow up a little bit. Let's, do things a little more that fit in the box here. And I just have to keep going. No, this is me. This is one of the reasons I wanted to start my own businesses, so I could just fully be me. And I know that will attract, the right kind of clients, the right kind of relationships, and it'll, it won't be for everybody, but that's okay too.
Yeah, definitely. I have someone to introduce you to as well. Definitely, because I loved it, and I've been in IT, right? Like I did the MCSE thing. I came through. Oh, like making this fun is definitely something that anyone who's been in the arena appreciates. I mean, the business people, well, hey, you have your advice, right? But I really appreciated that. Now, in the midst of it, we're contained into this perspective of there's a beginning and an ending of life, right? You have two sons, right? You have a wife, right? How do you plan for your day with that reality that it is possible that you could die today or tomorrow?
Wow, that's a heavy question, and maybe we can do another side episode to tell you about kind of our recent family history. But we actually had a house fire in November. We lost our entire house and our vehicles. Thank God, all the family members are okay. But my perspective on November 3rd, when it happened, has changed in just about every way. I think, prioritizing family and relationships has become, much more important to me now. And my drive in this business now is to, of course, succeed. But also my goal is to get to more of a balance. I mean, I'm putting in a lot of hours because I am kind of a one-man shop, but the goals and short and long term perspective of my life really is that you could go away for a jog around the neighborhood, which is what I did, and come back to no house, I mean literally no belongings except the clothes on our back. And so I think I'm very much living the live for the now and be here now kind of mentality.
That's amazing. Well, I am sure you're going to use this to be even more. Isn't that amazing that losing home could be, wow, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, really a lot of honestly a lot of beautiful things have come out of it. I mean, we're in a smaller dwelling. We're spending a lot more time together. We're caravanning places together, but we're a tighter family unit than maybe we would have been with a house with more space. It's something I really do think all four of us will look back on and say, I would never want to repeat that, but we are better, stronger people because of it. And man, I tell you, people are. It's easy to look at your Twitter feed, your Facebook feed, Google, wherever, and just see so much despair and bad news and things to be negative about and angry about and sad about. But when you have a situation like we did, you learn very quickly there are so many good people out there, and man, they come parachuting in from all corners of the world. They kick in your door. They're come alongside you and they're gonna help you through it. And I put it to my wife as we've been receivers of what I can only describe as relentless giving, like people who will not stop until they've helped you in some way. And that's been humbling, and that's been incredible and really unbelievable most days.
Well, Brian, I can tell you that it is my pleasure to have this opportunity to call a couple years after our first conversation and to hear how things have evolved. More so that you've not given up. More so that you decided to give a service to humanity. Yeah, because, hey, you could have kept everything that you were learning and how you were learning it to yourself. Instead, you decided to share with others. So for that, I say well done for the value of that, for what it's worth. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, I just thank you for this opportunity. It's always great to talk to you, and just wish all your listeners, everybody has a real blessed day and blessed week.
I appreciate you. Again, a pleasure. I treasure. Brian Johnson, thank you for being on What Is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.